go even further beyond.
Yeah, my name is Zakashi, and in this video we're gonna be doing something very unique. I sat here for a long time. This video was actually meant to do it in like November 2020, but I went ahead and big brained a lot of ideas that Dragon Ball Legends, the developing team, Toshi, they could actually implement into the game with new units. I've got some examples of units that they could work on, but it could actually just become things that we see quite more often. Like we've seen units, for example, when we take the revival cell, he's got the actual thing where he doesn't have endurance. If he gets killed, he comes back to life. So that's something pretty neat. Or we can take the UI Goku, the Sign Goku. He's got his own unique Vanish Gorge, the float system, where it just allows him to auto dodge basically. So I'm going to be discussing unique things like that they could actually implement into the game, new things that could actually change the whole dynamic of the game and actually create new content for you guys to watch and whatnot, because there will just be new things in the game. Like I feel like that Red Cell and UI Goku are probably the two biggest things that we've seen that are quite wild. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. On this grind to 20k, face reveal at 20k, so make sure you press that. Share this video to everyone you know. Yes sir. All my social media links are going to be on the left. It's the YouTube channel, where we got a Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link, all in the description below, so make sure to check me out on all of those. But yeah, man, just gonna have some PvP gameplay in the background while I actually explain all of that ideas I've got 5 ideas. So yeah, hopefully you guys are going to enjoy them. Let's actually get into the video now. So the first one here is actually one that's really easy. Like they've gone through capabilities of this and shown that it's actually possible. So what I'm actually going to take here is a transforming unit that changes element when they transform. So this would be actually real neat depending on what color they start on and what color they end on. And we've seen there's lots of teams that actually run on color circles. So if we take the blue purple team, it would be really good if we had like a unit before they're transformed. They could be like, I don't know, yellow or something, and then after they transform they could turn into purple, so they could fit that blue purple team. That would be really neat. Characters I'm actually looking forward for this being would be something like a fusion character. So if we take Goku and Vegeta, if they were to fuse beforehand, they would be an assist unit, but afterwards, if they were to fuse, they start off as yellow before the fusion. After the fusion, they could be purple, something like that, and that would be really neat. It makes for a lot more interesting PvP scenarios, because you have to plan for, alright cool, if the person brings that unit, they're actually going to start off as a yellow unit, and then after that they'd go to a purple unit. So depending on what, if that person brings that character, then I'd have to plan ahead for that in terms of the colors I'm bringing. So you got to think about things like that, and they could actually play around with that a lot. For example, if they put a timer on that type of character, it'd make it even more of an issue, because if you plan for that, they could be purple for only half the battle, and then they'll be yellow for the other half of the battle. It's not a thing where they transform and they're done like that. So yeah, that was just an idea I had for one. The second idea I had would be one that changes type. So what actually led to me thinking of this idea is the Trunks that we have as a Zenkai. So the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, that's blue from the future, he's actually a range type. His blast damage is insane. So if we took a unit like him, who's actually a range type, after the transformation, if he was to be an LF, for example, if he was to change type after the transformation, so the reason I was talking about Trunks is because his LF would be Sword of Hope, right? And if you're fighting with a sword, you're a melee type for sure. So after he transforms, that's where he gets to the point where he can do his LF, kind of like Namek Goku. You can't get Namek Goku or LF Piccolo's LF off before they're transformed, only afterwards. So if Trunks was to transform, he'd actually change into a melee type, and then he'd be able to do his LF. But in this scenario, because they change in type, it would actually affect the gameplay entirely. So if you guys didn't know, when you go into PvP battles, the cards that the character carries actually factors into what cards you will draw in the battle. So if we take the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks I'm using as an example, he carries 2 blast arts if you scroll down to the bottom where it says arts cards held. But then after he transforms, those could change to 2 strike arts, and they could have like different types of buffs, like bleed on the chance that he pulls in a strike card that causes bleed, or like one that increases ki damage inflicted. The potential is endless, but that would be something really unique to see that Legends could actually easily pull off. So yeah, that was my second idea. The third idea I had would be a transformation unit, but instead of them actually going into the transformation process, it starts like that, and actually you're counting down to where the unit isn't viable anymore. So character that made me actually think of this idea, if we take the mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, he was bodying Jiren, right? But then that timer ran out and it was up for him, so he only had a set amount of time. He started up Master Ultra Instinct, but then after the timer runs out, it's up. The same thing with Saiyan Goku, they could release another one, but if he starts like that, and maybe let's say for the first 60 timer counts, maybe even 80 timer counts to make it a bit decent, it would be cool. We can also apply that type of thinking to make more endless possibilities, such as Gogeta. Gogeta's fusion only lasts 30 minutes, so we could make it a certain amount of timer counts that actually suit that fusion. Or even a Vegeta or Blue, because they were too powerful, the fusion didn't last anymore, so that could actually be working on a timer count. So it's kind of like a reverse transformation, and because it's on a timer, you don't actually control it. As soon as the battle starts, every time they're in, that time is ticking. So that would be something neat I'd like to also see. Now the fourth one I've got on this list is actually a green card that alternates the unit. So this one would be quite overpowered depending on how they pull it off. But if you think about it, it could work very well. So let's take a unit, a dual unit. Let's just use Goku and Vegeta for example, or a Goku and Frieza. Let's take Goku and Frieza from the Tournament of Power. I think that would be a better example. So in the Tournament of Power, we saw how they were alternating and working as a team, fighting against Jiren, right, at the very end. But every time they pop a green card, you would switch character. So if we take assist units, it would usually be the main one and then the one that's an assist. So if we take Broly and Sheila, Broly's the main, Sheila's the assist. Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, the assist unit. Great Saiyaman's the main, and then Great Saiyaman 2 is the assist. So what would be the case is you start with Goku, Frieza's the assist, but then every time I pop a green card, it would swap. So then Frieza's the main, Goku's the assist. But because they're two different completely different characters, they would have different kits. So it might be too complicated to go with many different things, like Goku's the range type and then Vegeta, Frieza's the melee type or something like that. But they could definitely alternate their kits slightly, so that depending on which one you have in, it would be completely different into how they fight. And they could put a limit on it, like you could only do it like 5 times in a battle, but it will actually create more possibilities in a PvP scenario. Like for real, like you can imagine that, okay, say you have Goku and Frieza like I was using, you could also add a thing where if you kill one of them, then you also have to body the other one. But depending on how much health they have, that could actually factor into if it's too much or too little. So they have to balance it, but it's still something possible. So just alternating units that switch out for a green card, that could be real neat. You'd have two main abilities as well, the same way you do with transforming units. This last one here, it's more so specific to one character, but if they were to pull it off, it'd be really neat. So if you were with me when they were actually premiering the Vados sparking and Champa sparking that we have now, I was actually kind of like, so they gave Vados a sparking before Whis? That's kind of crazy. That's disrespectful, I ain't gonna lie. But if they gave Whis a sparking and they gave him like something I feel that's really dead in the game, you know them awakening cards, the pink ones, I believe like Captain Ginyu has one. If you pop one of those and you land it, it could genuinely rewind the whole game. So you know how we have units that actually deal AoE damage, like the new Broly's ultimate, Margin Vegeta, not the LF, the red one, they deal AoE damage. So when the explosion goes off with Margin Vegeta, he actually damages the people on the sideline, right? Let's say you're losing the game, right? Like you're getting bodied completely. What Whis would actually do is rewind the game to a point so you can actually possibly change the whole scenario, just like in the Resurrection of F movie. So you know how Vegeta was actually he fell victim to Frieza, right? What the scenario would be is once you pop that awakening card, I think that's what they're called, it would actually rewind the game maybe 20 timer counts back. So if someone was alive 20 timer counts back, they'd be alive. but it'd be the same scenario for the enemy as well. But it gives you a chance to actually change up the whole scenario of the battle, as you might play different if you was to have a second chance at that life. And that would be really neat, but only if that awakening card lands. But it's really annoying to deal with as well, but that would come in amazing with making gameplay, and there's so many more possibilities that we can see in the PvP battlefield. But yeah, that pretty much ends off the video, man. Those are 5 ideas. I want to do a part 2. I've got more ideas. It took me a while to think of these, but there's I feel like there needs to be new content in this game for real. Like, they're releasing a new game mode, cool, but releasing new units, like when UI came out, like I actually had so much fun playing Dragon Ball Legends because UI was just a new mechanic that I had to learn, and it felt so fresh to use him in a way that I haven't used any other character before. Like, it was just so enjoyable. So if they were to pull off things like this, it actually just creates so many more potential content ideas, gameplay ideas. Like, the game would just be overall more enjoyable just off the fact that there's a new character that can do this, and it also brings more value to certain characters because, as we know, Zenkais are taking over, so they're gonna have to get quite a bit more creative instead of just adding the same old type kits that we know that are better than the other. Like, for example, Gogeta Blue doesn't have card draw speed, so it's just up for him, whereas Android 18, if you take away her card draw speed, she will just be a damage monster but not actually be doing a lot of damage because she can't draw in cards. So you just got to think about these things, more so speaking to the developers. But let me know what you guys think, fam. I feel like this video is a banger. The ideas are crazy if they were actually pull them off. Let's see, maybe some of them come true. They might watch this video. But if you haven't already, man, make sure to press that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, press that subscribe button, man. Press the like button. I don't actually promote the like button, but press the like button for this video because I feel like this video is lit, man. Like, the ideas in this video, I'm messing with them, and if they were to come out, especially the Whis Rewind one, bro, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, all my socials on the left, like I said at the start of the video. 20k for the face reveal. I'm gonna leave it like that, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Please, lend me your energy! You're through!